Great sports program!
Tries to get open. They'll try to cover him for the three-point, but Randy Orr gets open.
Hill comes down. He's worked over. Hill cuts inside the line. Cross, floor pass, shot, scores! Oh, beautiful goal by Aaron.
Power play, here's a good chance here with some wheels and a breakaway chance here for Stick. And it's great save by Clump. That was Zach Ilka.
Welcome to Locker Room. I'm Steve Erickson.
And I'm Ian Metcalf.
Got an action-packed show tonight, once again for you as usual. A couple of very, very astute gentlemen that have agreed to come over. We are going to get right off the top, Ian, and talk Man Cup, because that is the words, and it doesn't matter where you go, that's on the lips of everyone.
Hottest ticket in town right now, Steve.
Oh, and sell it. We've got to thank these two gentlemen, you know, for what you've done. Wally and Casey, both of you, an excellent job with what we're seeing over at Queen's Park right now.
Yeah, let's ask you first too, Wally. You're the media director of this Man Cup '95, and we were talking earlier. You must be ecstatic at the media attention you're getting as well, and that's turned into numbers, like I said, over 4,000 for each game.
Ian, it's been tremendous. The media in the Greater Vancouver area have been tremendously supportive of them. We've been giving them a lot of material for the last few weeks, getting them primed for it, and they've responded exceptionally well. Casey certainly could take full credit for the Sandbellies and the product they're putting on the floor, especially last night. Outstanding, and it's no wonder that we're playing to sellout crowds.
Well, we had the chance to cover the first game, and the first game was actually delayed for the starting time due to the people who were coming in.
45 minutes we had to delay it, which has been a long time since we've done that in lacrosse. The lineup was right out to First Street in New Westminster, and it was tremendous. But it was worth the wait.
Casey, long time coming out here for crowds like this. One people, they've asked over and over, what's the difference between what we're seeing now? Why don't the people come out in droves like this to watch that type of lacrosse all year long?
Well, I think this has had a particular build-up starting from last year, from the Man Cup in last year. But it also is a carryover, I think, from a junior championship 2 years ago in Surrey. But I just want to go back, I want to harken back to one thing that you mentioned. Wally and I are here, and it's visible, but that you talk about us and the work. But there's an incredible amount of people in the background to make something like this go, and they've all done tremendous jobs. It's not just two people that make this thing go.
And we would be remiss if they were not mentioned.
That's right.
The one thing that Ian and myself both commented on the other night was the security that is involved with this, an unbelievable job with the security.
And it's all volunteer work, and as Casey mentioned, the volunteers, and we've got a tremendous amount of them. The referees have taken over one section of the arena, which is something the referees don't traditionally do, but they're contributing tremendously into the national championships again, and it's great. The clubs have taken over. The member clubs of the Western Lacrosse Association, Casey's peers, have taken over specific roles, and it's coming. It's lacrosse people putting it on, and I think they have to be proud of themselves.
And let's remind everybody right now, guys, that this is a audience participation show. The numbers should be coming up at the bottom of your screen. So give us a call, and Game 4 of the Man Cup is tonight. And
yeah,
the score,
it's underway in about 57 minutes.
And let's remind everybody again, too, that if you phone, the first 10 callers get a free large Boston pizza.
Yes.
And what I'm going to do right now, in case there's people out there that want to go to the game, okay, well, we won't. They're telling me we're not going to do it yet. But yeah, the game does start at 8 o'clock tonight. Right now, the series is 2-1 in favor of Six Nations. And Casey, the first two games. Well, let's talk about the first game of the series first. What happened a minute and a half into the game? Your star player.
Overall, we had a very good jump. That's not too difficult to do when you have power plays such as we did. We didn't sustain it. Six Nations' depth and their talent came through, and we couldn't hold on. You talked about the first minute and a half. After 1:59 into the game, one of what we think is our star performers, Got hit in the back of the neck by one of their ball players, and once the player went down, he continued to be pummeled, and we just thought from our perspective that this was totally unreasonable. I really can't say enough that this goes beyond the bounds of anything that is acceptable. And our club is responding in an appropriate way, as I think Benny Hilges is.
And the Mann Cup Appeals Committee agreed with you. Originally it was a 4-game suspension. I understand the Salmon Bellies appealed it, went from 4 games now to all of these playoffs, and the 1996 year, and as well you've recommended that the CLA take some sort of action as well.
That's what the appeal board recommended. But the details of that will come out, and I'm sure, and it's not something that I'm don't want to dwell on.
No.
But I think what I really would like to impress on people is just the outstanding lacrosse that's being played. The level of intensity is just phenomenal. I've had people phone me that want tickets. They know the thing's being sold out. They say they're willing to pay NHL prices for these games. People were a little upset at the prices to begin with. Take some money to bring a team like Six Nations into British Columbia. But once people got used to the fact that there was a tiered price structure, and once they saw the level of play and the intensity, that sort of discussion really stopped quickly. People realized they're getting a great big bang for their buck.
The intensity level carried over from last year. It just didn't even seem to drop at all. It just carried right over from the games that we watched last year back in Ontario. Yeah,
well, there certainly was some things that both teams had to prove. There was some carryover from that, undoubtedly. And right from the opening face-off, there was those two teams went at it.
We want to remind everyone right now, it's a live phone-in talk show. Give us a phone call. The number will come up on your screen. Ask either of these gentlemen questions, preferably about the Mann Cup, lacrosse, the WLA, where the league's going. We've talked expansion, Ian, but let's stick with the Mann Cup right now. With the people that are coming in, the only person that's concerned about it is the fire marshal.
That's right. Well, we'd like them to expand it to 15,000. He'd allow in there, but 4,200 is his limit, and that's where we cut it off at for safety's sake. But it's tremendous. As Casey said, there's been a lot of media coverage on the, shall I say, the more visible, the more violent aspects of the game. But for the most part, there's been tremendous lacrosse. As good a lacrosse you'll see anywhere being played between the sessions that might be a little physical.
In most cases, that's what the media likes to dwell on, is all the negative aspect, you know, when you do get the hit that we did watch when we were over there, and those type of things. It's not part of the game. The game is physical, we all know that, but those things, the media just seems to thrive on that.
We had a number of BC Lions there as guests the opening night, and they couldn't believe it. When they looked at the speed, the finesse, and the biggest thing they talked about wasn't the physical contact, and it wasn't the roughness of it. It was they couldn't believe the skills that they were seeing on the floor by guys who were playing for absolutely no pay. That just blew them away, and they've been very excited about coming back again, and they will be back on Tuesday night.
Casey, a big thorn in your team's side has been Paul Gate, and he's just amazing to watch. If there's any better athlete at their sport, I don't know where he or she is, because he's just a phenomenal athlete. I watch him kill penalties out there. You guys put 2 or 3 guys on him, you still can't stop him. I guess you don't stop him, you slow him down.
Well, I think we were, oddly enough, we were able to stop him in the last game. But you know, Ian, this series is still going on, and I'm not going to say anything certainly to inflame Gates' feelings. He's a tremendous ball player. He's a talent. He's I think brings some aspects to the game, unlike any other individual other than maybe his brother. But in terms of sheer going to the net and one-on-one, and in fact sometimes one-on-two, I don't think he's been rivaled from what I can see. Tremendous power, tremendous sense of going to the net. That's one thing that's outstanding. But certainly there are many other attributes that he brings to the game.
We've got 2 of the best teams in Canada playing right now for this supremacy, and the one area that I've watched very unbiased, and I think the Six Nation teams are very weak in their goaltending, and that they've got more of a powerhouse. I feel your goaltending is an awful lot stronger than they have.
Well, so far we haven't been able to show that. They basically have scored more goals than we have in 2 of the games. I guess it's somewhat relevant to the shots that are taken, but again, I'm not gonna at this stage of the game do anything.
Well, they're not watching right now, Casey.
This thing's being replayed, and these guys are going to get in their hotel room. And quite frankly, I'm impressed with their goaltending.
Their goaltending's been, and I really think that the series is going to come down to goaltending. I think after your game last night, the kind of game that Kirk Malowski played, and Jordy Dean finally coming to life in this series with a hat trick last night. And you know, I think you guys are right where you guys want to be now. And you know, I think it's going to come down to, can Rick Mang outdo you know, the goaltending tandem of Six Nations? And I honestly believe it's going to come down to that.
Could be. You know, there are many other variables involved. Right now, one thing that we didn't expect to the degree that we're getting is play from our special teams. Our power play has been outstanding. We also have been very pleased with our man short play. So goaltending, and I'd say power play, man short. I'd say line play. They have more ability to generate scoring than we do on 5-on-5 situations. But again, you know, all these things have to be factored into a game.
Got our first caller on the line right now. Lauren, you're on the line. How you doing?
Not too bad.
Thanks for calling.
Yes.
Who would you like to ask the question to?
Casey Cook.
Go ahead.
I come from back east, and I have a lot of friends here in Victoria, and they are very, very let down because of the reffing, the treatment that the Six Nations is getting. It's, you know, it's blatantly one-sided. Six Nations in the first game took a number of 5-minute majors. You know, they pretty well played the whole game short-handed. And every time, as a spectator, you know, you see Casey Cook running to the penalty box every time, like, he's making the calls. Actually, he's ruining the game.
Well, I'll jump in for Casey for half a minute, because I fully disagree with that. I won't argue the fact, and I'm not going to sit here and say Casey's
Talk about
right
the
or wrong.
cross-check on Benny Halges.
Yeah, I mean, we watched it, and the game is played on the floor. I have a concern with some of the officiating that we're watching. Not for this. I feel, and we've discussed this, Ian, everybody's got to learn and pay their dues. It's tough, because you've got two people that are on the floor trying to contain all the players.
And another 4,000 in the stands telling them what to do.
And they know all the rules. But if we watch Casey go over towards the penalty box, believe me, and I say this very openly, there is no way Casey's going to the penalty box and saying, look, you know, don't call this and don't call that. The officials are doing a commendable job, given what they're given. And the players are the one that finally dictate it. And I'm a very firm believer that if you're
right in that area of the penalty box there, or where the glass, where they don't have glass.
No, that's true. That's true.
And Casey Cook has said, when the suspensions were given out, Jordy Dean, don't kick out Jordy Dean. He was told the referee. And I'm just glad that the Eastern ref is reffing tonight, because it's going to be a much fairer game.
Well,
and I think Six Nations will blow them out tonight.
Good.
Okay, go ahead, Casey.
Okay, Casey.
Well, I don't know where that came from about Jordy Dean. Certainly Jordy Dean hasn't done anything that would warrant his being kicked out. That's just a totally fallacious statement, and I don't know where that comes from. What I did was I went to the penalty box twice to talk to James Burnett after there had been some skirmishes, because I was concerned about a cut that he had, and I spoke with him. But certainly...
but you have no business over there. You don't see Six Nations running over there every time.
Well, they're on their side of the box. They have access to their players' boxes, and I don't have access to those. But certainly if a ball player is sporting a cut, somebody from our team is going to go over there and see if he requires attention. But I think that your statements are somewhat exaggerated, and they're based on erroneous information.
All I can say is what goes around comes around. We'll be there next year.
Thanks, caller.
You know, well, hopefully the same treatment will apply to you guys.
Thanks, caller.
Head on.
Thanks, Lauren. Thanks for calling. Well, everyone's entitled to their own comments.
Sure.
My only concern right from the outset is I think that one of the comments that we discussed the other night is both teams are on the same side of the floor.
And let me interrupt, because right now we have Don McDonald at Queen's Park Arena. Don, the Executive Vice President of the BCLA. Don, what's the crowd like at Queen's Park right now?
Oh, they're on their way in right now. We've got probably 500, 600, possibly 700 general admission tickets available at this point. A lot of that will be standing room, but I would suggest that $10 it's probably the best entertainment value of the year.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Don, I realize this is probably the first time we've seen reserve seating at a lacrosse game in the West in years, and I know you've had a couple of headaches the first 3 games. Have we got them ironed out?
Oh yeah. What you have to understand, Ian, is that the limited number of problems that we actually had as a percentage of total ticket sales is, I don't even think it would register. I managed to get the names and numbers of most of those that were affected by it, and it added up to no more than a couple of dozen. Those people have since been taken care of and are actually back here tonight and happy to be here, I might add. So the ticket problems are really a non-issue. That's all been, what little problems we had have been ironed out, and those with reserve seats are, of course, being able to sit in them.
Now, Don, if they're looking for tickets for the upcoming games, where do they go, and give us some location as to where they can get the tickets?
Well, there's 65 outlets in BC, most of them in the lower mainland. I'm, of course, talking about Ticketmaster. You can do it over the phone if you want, and that's 280-4400, and they'll be able to help you from there.
Now, Don, you're saying you had 500 to 700 left. Is there a big lineup like we've seen the last couple of
months? A lot of people outside right now, Ian. I don't want to go so far as to say exactly how many have already come in and then are just going out to get a breath of fresh air. But I would expect after last night's action and what we've had in the series so far that we'll be looking at another sellout crowd. Okay, so right now it's 7:15, and if you're watching us, we don't want you to go away from us, but if you want to get to the game tonight, you better go now. Yeah, there's still some there's some good room available right now, and as I said, for $10, you're not going to get a better entertainment value all year round. I guess the only thing we have to ask Don is make sure you save us a parking spot. We're coming over after we finish the show. Well, that's fine. We'll take care of that. Thanks for coming on, Don. We'll see you tonight. You bet. Thanks, Don. All right, bye now. Yeah, again, top-notch lacrosse that we're watching here. We were talking earlier on about the Lacrosse Hall of Fame coming up. Can I touch on one thing of human interest before you get to it? I got thinking about it when you're talking about the goaltenders. One thing a lot of people don't know of, and I think it's the kind of thing that you don't see very often. Bill Geary, the goaltender for Six Nations, his son, Chris, was a goaltender for Orangeville when they won the National Junior Championship a couple weeks ago against the Junior Salmon Bellies. And it's a good example of the opportunities they can get, too. Yeah. 2 of his sons play on the Orangeville team, Chris and Ron, and they're both going to university in the United States, both on full scholarships. One at the University of Virginia and one at Rochester Institute of Technology. And these are some of the opportunities young people can get through playing lacrosse, through the skills they acquire that are very, very hotly contested for in the U.S. There's been a lot of father and son tandems over the years, and a lot of brother combinations within our game. And before we go on, we have a trivia question to ask, and you're going to get a pair of tickets to Game 5, which is going to be Tuesday night at Queen's Park Arena, 8 o'clock. If you can tell us what junior team did Six Nations scoring sensation Paul Gate play for. You can phone in with the answer. We'll send you to the game Tuesday night. Yes, and that no doubt will be a sellout, so don't scalp them, take them, use them, watch the game. It's going to be interesting. Talking about the Lacrosse Hall of Fame coming up, change of venue this year. We're not going to be in New Westminster no more. We're going downtown to the PNE. Well, that came as a requirement also that the Royal Towers, where we've traditionally held the Hall of Fame, and I mean, the Royal Towers have been part of lacrosse as long as most of us have been around, but they're changing their facilities. They'll no longer have their large banquet facilities any longer. They're turning into a casino. So they've looked for a location. They looked quite extensively for it and selected the PNE as being the ideal site. So location at the PNE, does it hold more bodies? Yes. Substantial numbers?
I believe they can expand the PNE to hold close to 1,000, the Dogwood Room. Great.
Well, that's good because the Lacrosse Hall of Fame is just like the Mann Cup. It's sold out. Yeah, it traditionally sells out every year, so hopefully we can have a much larger crowd and accommodate many more people attending. Now, you must be very proud. One of the inductees is a former player of yours while you're with the Vancouver Burrards, Dave Evans. Talk about Dave a little bit. Well, I think we're both very lucky that there's a Salmon Belly and a Burrard going in, and I'm no longer a Burrard. But Dave Evans being inducted into the Hall of Fame was a tremendous selection on my part, I believe. Dave played in the Western. He played junior ball in Burnaby, and he played for the Vancouver Burrards for 11 seasons. He also played in the National Pro League in Eastern Canada. He went to the Mann Cup with the Burrards. Not only was he an outstanding goaltender, an outstanding player, but he also, after finishing his playing days in the mid-'70s,
He served time with the club as a coach, as a general manager, as a president. Virtually anything the Burrards needed, Dave Evans filled in and did. On top of that, he also started with Dorothy Robertson the ladies field lacrosse program in British Columbia, which has gone on to win the national title many, many times. He was head coach of the BC Lacrosse Association, and as you're aware, he coached in the Major Indoor League in Philadelphia for 6 years. And Dave's put a tremendous amount into the game. And this year, he coached the North Shore Indians.
What goes around comes around. He's a really strong recipient. And Dorothy was out there the other night, sitting in her normal corner where she always sits.
Dorothy's corner.
Real sweetheart.
Yeah, she is.
And she's overcome all her problems, you know, with her sickness and everything else. And that's nice to see. But, one question I want to ask Casey, and I don't really want to put you on the spot. I'm right into the subject.
I know
I won't put him on the spot. I get into the situation. 2 officials. Has there ever been any consideration or thought given to the fact that maybe they should just get a 3rd official out there to, I mean, not so much call penalties, but be like a lines person to assist in the melee that might transpire? And we all know it could happen.
Yeah, that certainly has been talked about. Basketball has gone to the 3 official system. We've talked about it at the WLA. We would have to develop different patterns for referees on the floor, and that may not be difficult, but right now it's seen as a bit of an obstacle by the referees because the patterns that are developed in terms of relationship, where the play is, who's watching what. It's fairly refined as to who watches what on the floor, and they really haven't had time to develop the new patterns or try them. Right now, I would say maybe for major championships, that's something we should be looking at, but it's difficult just to do for major championships because those skills aren't built up along the way. It's not like you just throw somebody else on the floor. The relationship from one referee to another is really honed in terms of what each other's responsibilities are. And to make a switch just for a series at a certain stage really can be counterproductive if it's not done correctly.
That's true. I was thinking before we get to our caller, because we do have a winner, I was thinking of just possibly add a 3rd person on the floor that could act as, I guess, a linesman like they do in hockey, and one of the 2 people on the floor could stand back, take numbers, and the other 2 people could break up whatever problems might take place. That's because that is a concern. I feel sorry for the 2 officials that do the game.
I think it's fair, though, to state, Steve, when we had a situation such as we've had the other night, where tempers have been very high, as Casey said, it becomes a media event. But in fairness, there's very little of that all year long. And quite frankly, the positioning that Casey talked about, the positioning that the referees use, if they're in position and playing their calls, they cover the floor. There's very little that should take place anywhere on the floor that isn't seen by a referee if they're covering their positions properly.
That's true. The one thing, we'll go to our caller first, and I'll get back to it. We've got a caller for the question that Ian asked. Jerry.
Yeah, Guillermo Legion.
That's right. Yeah, congratulations. You're going to go to the game Tuesday night.
Sure.
Excellent.
How'd you know the answer? Did you have a little bit of help on that?
No, I used to play lacrosse.
Ah, good.
Good for you.
For which team or association?
Newsminster organization.
Ah, okay.
Good for you.
You still involved?
No, I'm over 40 now. That was.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Ian's sitting here nudging me. Nothing wrong with that at all.
That's okay. Casey's got a spot for you.
Caller, we'll give you a shout after the show. I'll leave your number off the air, and we'll find a way to get you those tickets.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for calling.
Thanks. Good. That was nice because not a lot of people would have known that. But just going back to referees, I think from what we've seen, I think they're under difficult circumstances, especially considering it's a national championship. I've spoken to the officials, and I think they're doing a commendable job.
You know, let's remember too, guys. Sorry for interrupting, Wally, but 2 of the 4 officials have never refereed a Men Cup game before in their lives, and that's a lot of pressure. And I guess what we're seeing, Casey, we're seeing a real changing in the guard. The Ronnie Corsados, the Ray Duranys are gone, and now we're bringing in the new blood. And I'm gonna ask you to comment on the officials, and without getting in too much trouble. Are you happy with the officials?
Well, I thought that Game 3 was very well done, and that was not necessarily because New West won.
No.
What happened was, and I watched an interview with Paul Gate on television, And basically, his opinion was that the reason, the direction that it had gone was basically because nobody had taken a degree of control that was necessary, and I agree with that. And we have some referees that are new to that level of competition, and I think they tended to let things go, to let the ball players determine the outcome. However, when you've got a game at that level of intensity, you have to take control right from the outset. And I'm not faulting the referees. I'm just saying that perhaps things got to the point a greater measure of control could have been exercised at the beginning. And I think that's been recognized, and I think that's been starting to happen now.
You know, and isn't it ironic that the first game we have, where there wasn't a single fight the whole game, the Salmon Bellies win, and they hold Gate and Tavares to 1 assist each. So, I mean, I don't know what that tells us, but, you know, it shows that that both these clubs can play good, clean lacrosse.
Oh, sure they can. And, got another caller on the line. Tom, you're on the line. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just wondering, will you be televising and taping any more games?
Right now, caller, that we're uncertain. We understand that if the Senate, I'm sure it will now go 6 or 7 games. If it does go 6 or 7, you probably will see us at game 6 or 7. We're hoping right now. We're negotiating that right now, and we had so much fun that first game Wednesday night. We want to do some more.
Yeah, fine. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hey, thanks for calling, Tom.
Call your local cable operator.
That's right.
Yeah. Now we were talking tonight, the 10th. Game starts 8 o'clock, as we were told earlier on. A lot of people outside waiting to get in. Games, upcoming games, and I'll go full 7 because I'm not a skeptic. I think in my own mind it's going to go all 7 games. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all 8 o'clock games, Casey?
That's correct.
And all at the same venue?
Same venue.
For Thursday night, you'd better be there camped out on Wednesday.
Right.
Wow, no
It's going to be that...
I see Casey here. He's almost chewing his fingernails out when he's not on camera periodically because he wants to get out to the game, and I don't blame him because Ian and myself want to get over there as well. Casey, I want to thank you and Wally for coming on because I know you've both got lots of stuff to do for the Man Cup. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
I would just like to make one comment if we have time. I really want to emphasize we talked a little bit because people are somewhat wanting to talk about it and understand it. If you want to watch lacrosse, and if you want to go watch the Tavareses, the Gates, the Cordingleys, the Deans, the the level of talent out there is phenomenal. There are people who are well, their knowledge of the sport is very high. And they're saying that of the 10 best players in the sport in the world, we've got 7 of them in New Westminster this week. Yeah, and I really, if people want to see a lacrosse treat, lacrosse at its best, an incredible level of skill and intensity, go to a Man Cup game. And the price, $70 to a Canuck playoff game, you can see the best lacrosse in the world for $15.
$15 for the best seat in the house, $10 for general admission.
Where can you go wrong? That's a steal.
Before we let you gentlemen go,
unbelievable.
We have to remind the viewing audience at home, don't forget, watching the talent here, Wayne Gretzky played lacrosse once as well back in Brantford. Same area that Sick Nation is from.
That's
gentlemen,
right.
Thank you very much. We're going to come back with the second portion of Locker Room right after this timeout.
Thanks very much.
Body Break with Hal Johnson and Joanne McLeod.
Spending some time with family and friends in one of Canada's many parks is a fun way to be active.
And to make this picnic even better, we've all brought our favorite dishes, so we get to enjoy Mexican, Chinese, and Italian foods. Here's a Mexican bean salad that not only tastes good, but is an excellent source of fiber. Jane's rice dish has lots of stir-fried vegetables and sesame seeds to make this one a favorite. We've got the barbecue going, and it has burgers on it made from lean beef, onions, and peppers. Now, Joel and Christina took the easy route. They brought pizza. It's always a great choice when topped with vegetables. We also have pita, rye, whole wheat, and Italian bread to fill us up.
And I made dessert my favorite, brownies with peanuts on top. But you can enjoy any dessert, even if it's high in fat. Just don't eat it as often or a lot of it.
Doesn't matter where you are, you can eat well if you make choices that taste good and provide you with the nutrition that you need.
So until next time, eat well, be active, and feel good about yourself. That's vitality. Thanks, Al.
Hey, Joe.
Body break.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the second portion of Locker Room. Ian, nice to see them go, but before we forget, talking about Man Cup, talking about Lacrosse Hall of Fame, we would be remiss to say a couple of extra names that are going into the Lacrosse Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Jim Cox, the fine play-by-play broadcaster for the BC Lions over the years. He also did lacrosse over the years as well, and Jim's being an inducted, a very worthy inductee, as well as a former player with the Salmon Bellies, Ken Wenzowski, and all three of them, including Dave Evans, very excellent choices.
Good choices, yes. I had the fortunate luck, I guess you would say, of working with Mr. Jim Cox for the last 2 years as Master of Ceremonies for the Lacrosse Hall of Fame. An extremely knowledgeable man about lacrosse.
Yeah,
and
he sure is.
He doesn't have any negative things to say about it. He's really right there. Now, we've got a lot of other stuff that we have to discuss.
It's
I mean,
house
we're
tonight.
just packed house here. We have some trivia questions coming up for the BC Lions.
Why don't we start?
Right off the bat, why not? Okay, first question.
You want to go first?
I'll go first, okay.
Right.
What university did Sean Millington play for? And give us a call. Now, the tickets that we have are for next Saturday's game, which I believe it's the 16th of September.
Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Hamilton Tiger Cats down under the dome. That's where we don't get any of that liquid sunshine
8
stuff.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock start. Give us a call. It's a live phone-in talk show. We also want to talk about the fact that we've got our program coming up, our special program from the Boston Pizza.
October 1st, I believe.
October 1st. It was a change of venue or a change of location.
Change of date.
Just a change of date.
Change of date.
Same Boston Pizza location where we were before. A lot of fun. We always, you know, enjoy ourselves whenever
And we're
down
not
there.
charging admission either that night.
No, and there's no Man Cup. I don't even think the Canucks are playing that night, so that won't be a problem. Now, talking about Canucks, we'll get that right off the top.
Okay.
Talking to a lot of young people this weekend because I had the chance to go up and cover the BC Amateur Annual General Meeting up in Kelowna. An awful lot of people are really choked with Pavel Bure because he's changing his number to 96 because, oh gee, he's playing for a Vancouver Canuck team, which I think the last time I looked on the map is located in Canada. But it's the year that he is going to become, quote, an American citizen. Isn't that sweet of him?
Well, that's professional sports, and Pavel right now is building a house in Los Angeles, and I'm glad you said it because I wasn't sure if I heard the story right. So if we get any phone calls from the Canucks organization, it's
I
your
heard
fault.
that, and it's too bad. I mean, I agree with him, but a lot of people...
But maybe the other reason, too, is he's number 96. McGillney wore 69 in Buffalo. I'm sure he'll wear the same number as in Vancouver, so maybe that had a little bit to do with it. We'll see.
It could, because of the new complex. We've got our first winner on the line, Heather. Heather, are you there?
Did we lose Heather?
I don't think. Heather. Well, they said we have a winner. Maybe the control room can talk to me a little more and
maybe she
tell
doesn't
us.
want to come on the air.
They'll get her back.
Maybe she wants to run out the door and get to the Man Cup.
She wants to get to the Man Cup game, no doubt. Now, we spoke earlier on a shock. One of the teams that we covered throughout this coming past summer, the Surrey Glaciers, or the Glaciers, lost down in Tri-Cities, didn't advance. So we'll get right back to that because I think Heather's on the line. Heather, are you there?
Yes, I am.
How are you doing?
Great.
Okay, do you have an answer for us?
SFU.
Hey.
That's right, the Simon Fraser University.
Yes, how did you know that?
Just watching football and stuff.
Great.
Good. You're a real football fanatic?
Not really, but I'm interested in it.
Enough to get you a couple tickets, though.
There you go.
All right, will you stay on the line? We'll get your number and we'll get those tickets out to you, Heather.
Okay, great, thanks.
And if you get a chance, come on out to the Boston Pizza on October 1st and say hi to us.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Heather. Yeah, it's, you know...
And now that we've got one down, we better ask another one, and this one's mine. Okay?
Your turn.
Who was the outstanding Canadian in last year's 1994 Grey Cup? That should be an easy one.
Yeah, but it's a tricky question because you said who was the outstanding Canadian.
As opposed to the most valuable player.
Yes, that is absolutely true. Anyway, getting back while we're waiting for our caller
Surrey
for that
Glaciers?
one. Surrey Glaciers, tough.
Well, it's been a real tough road for them on and off the field, Steve, and they got off to a bad start. The renovations cost a little bit more than they first thought, and we won't get into that because Lord knows that's been talked about enough in the
almost
local
like a political
newspapers.
Football. Yeah.
Glaciers got off to a real good start on the field. They won that first half, and they were going great guns, and then they got into some injury problems, and they had trouble fielding a lineup Tuesday night, and they lost the first game to Tri-Cities on Tuesday, although the game did go 10 innings, and then they lost 2-1 Thursday night to to lose 2 games to none. But Stu Kehoe has assured us they will be back in 1996, and it's pretty good ball. So when the Glaciers are back in 96, and hopefully we're going to get some good weather, because that hurt them a lot, all that rain.
It did. It really hurt him. Stu Kehoe, Dick Phillips, the rest of the gentlemen
fine
connected with the organization. Very knowledgeable, expertise plus, I guess we have to say. But I don't know what new kid in the block. The Vancouver Canadians, they didn't do any better. They just got knocked out by Salt Lake. But what do the Glaciers have to do? And I'm sure Doug's watching right now. But what do the Glaciers have to do to turn around the marketing and get more people there? I like the complex.
And I have an answer for you, and I'm going to give it to you as soon as we go to David with answer number 2. David, come on in.
Hello.
Are you there? Hi.
Hey there.
Louis Pasaglia.
Hi.
Louis Pasaglia.
You're absolutely right. Congratulations, and you're going to be able to go to the game next Saturday night?
Thank you very much. I will too, yeah.
You're going. You leave your name and number off, or your number off the air, and we'll get you those tickets.
Perfect. Thanks very much.
You're very welcome, sir.
Thanks for calling.
Okay.
But
the Glaciers.
Yes.
The problem the Glaciers had this year, because Stu Kehoe, you cannot find a better marketing guy anywhere in the Lower Mainland. He had a lot of success with the BC Lions when he was involved with them. He basically brought the Vancouver Canadians to Vancouver, and look at the job he did with them. Stu was very involved. He had to supervise the renovations to the Stetson Bowl, and he just didn't have time to do any marketing. Now they've got the stadium there. Now they know they're going to be there for 95, or pardon me, for 1996. You watch Stu Kehoe in the off season and the stuff that he's going to put together. I think that next year they'll have 2,000 to 2,500 fans, which they need out there. And it's the awareness, Steve. But there's got to be more public awareness out there.
Well, they worked with the youngsters, the minor baseball, with their training program, and they brought the youngsters out. And I spoke to a lot of individuals. They feel that the Glaciers did an exceptional job helping out the program.
And they have to do more of that, but that didn't come till the year was almost over. What they have to do is they have to start. They have to start in February or March and put some kind of marketing plan together. So when April, May rolls around and we start getting that great weather, the fans will be coming out.
Okay, we've got a caller. Tom. Tom, are you there? Well, he was there. No, we lost Tom.
Okay, well, let's ask the third Lions question.
Third Lions question for the pair of tickets for next Saturday's game, September 16th. Tough to read your writing, but I believe it says, what college did Darren Flutie attend?
That's right. That's the question.
Yes, and he did attend a college, so we have to emphasize that fact. Okay, so just so
let's give him a real. Let's give him a little hint. His brother Doug also went to the same college.
Yeah, and we won't tell him which coast it's on. But anyway, I was going to mention one other thing. You know, you talk about...
You gave him another hint.
No, I never. I was trying to be subtle. We talked about the Glaciers, the Stetson Bowl, which I keep calling Glacier Park. And for all the people out there involved with the Cloverdale Rodeo, I apologize because next year is the 50th, and I will be there with my, as I call them, my Saskatchewan hush puppies on. But the one thing I would love to see him do, we covered the women's fast pitch this past June from Softball City.
Yes.
They have numbers and vast numbers of games. Colleen Goodwin Ryan, the lady in charge of the marketing and public relations. Why couldn't they not, or why could they, utilize the Stetson Bowl? Have another complex.
That's good question.
I mean, that's a nice place.
It really is, and very
extra
good
revenue
question.
making for the Glaciers.
It would be. I guess
or
that's something. But I mean, where else could you find a finer softball facility anywhere in North America, Steve? I think that would be a great injustice to move. I have to
jump in. I was just saying about the city of Surrey. We have to say a happy second birthday to the city of Surrey.
We just had,
yes, they just, and a belated birthday to our producer.
We got him last show. We got him last show.
But you didn't get him with a pie. I was pulling for you. I thought maybe you might have got him with one of those whipped cream pies. Okay, we talked about that an awful lot. CFL today, Winnipeg defeated Saskatchewan 25-24. What a squeaker. But Memphis Mad Dogs defeated the Shreveport Pirates. Where do they come up with these names here? 22-21.
Let's talk about the Lions game yesterday. Sean Millington gone for the year, and he will be one big loss.
Yeah, big loss. No doubt they will. They will miss him because a very, not only is he knowledgeable, he's so much of a team leader with the squad.
And a fine special teams player, and he's going to be sorely missed as well. Darren Flutie's hurt, and so is Bobby Gordon. So Saturday night, you're going to see probably two new receivers, probably Yo Yo Murphy's going to get a chance to play Saturday night, and they'll find another receiver from somewhere, I'm sure. But the Lions are a real banged-up football club right now, and the way Jeff Garcia is playing for Calgary, they don't miss a beat losing Doug Flutie at all.
No, they don't. I believe we've got our next caller in the line that has an answer for us. Vinny.
Boston College.
That is right, sir.
That's absolutely correct. Should we ask you how you knew that?
I know everything.
There you go.
Boy, no modesty in his family.
Who's going to win the Man Cup game tonight?
Who's going to win the Man Cup? New West.
All right, I like that answer.
You already like that.
Let's hope you know everything.
Give your name and phone number to the control room in there, and they'll take it and enjoy the game next Saturday night.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks, Vinny.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about this. You can get the fourth question out of the way because let's go with them right now. We do have 4.
All right. Do you want
to read it?
Give me this.
Just take it and read it. I mean, you forgot it.
What team did the Lions obtain Robert Gordon from? That's it.
Yes. And
I will tell you that, no, I'm not going to be too, I'd be giving the answer away, and I'm not going to do that.
No,
okay.
we
They've already been too easy.
We don't want to do that. Talking earlier on today, one thing in the last week that is on we talked to baseball. Vancouver Canadians lost. That was sad because the Canadians, Stu
There's no baseball left in the Lower Mainland. All we can do now is cheer for the Montreal. They got the Seattle Mariners are now a game in front in the wild card race. So we've got the Mariners 2 hours down the road, and
not far away.
Our beloved Montreal Expos still have an opportunity, although it's going down day to day as they continue to lose to the Mets.
Talk about baseball. Did you watch or catch any of the highlights with Cal Ripken?
I did. That's something to play.
Isn't that something,
amount of games in a row at any sport.
And of course, he was teasing the media because he said that, gee, maybe I'll take the next day off.
Yeah.
He had to pull one over. But, it was nice to see the night that he did break the number, that 3 people on hand, Brooks Robinson, Ernie Banks, and Joe DiMaggio. Nice crew of people on hand.
And it's really too bad that the Mick couldn't have been there, because I'm sure he would have been there. And I'm sure he's looking down on us right now and with a big smile on his face for Cal.
Yeah, but that was nice. And the other thing that a lot of people, any interviews that I've watched or anybody I've spoken to, they've told me that Cal Ripken, very, very good gentleman with especially the youngsters that go up. He stays, he signs autographs. He's not, I guess, not the greedy type of professional player that really wants to get involved.
Yeah. Well, let's talk. It's the Canucks training camp, the start of training camp
tomorrow in Whistler.
Year,
yes,
and,
tomorrow.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. Canucks have brought back Jim Sandlak on a tryout basis, and the jury is obviously out on him. Can he become the player that they thought he would be when they drafted him in the first round in 1985?
I believe we've got a winner on the line for the last question you asked. Vic, are you there?
Yeah.
Vic, can you give us the answer to the question that Ian asked?
Argonauts.
That's right.
That's absolutely correct. Boy, oh boy.
And here's another question. You don't have to answer. You're not going to get anything if you don't answer it. who did the Lions give up to get him?
Ken Austin.
You got it. All right.
Oh boy, he had to answer that.
This guy knows everything.
Hey, he was worried that you might have had a rebuttal and taken the tickets away from him.
And he's going to get a pizza for that as well from Boston Pizza.
Yes.
Double winner. Okay, you stay on the line, and we'll get your name and telephone number, and we'll get that stuff out to you.
Good deal.
He's gone.
Yeah, he is. He is. But we were talking about all the different things. Get back. We've spoken about Cal Ripken. We've got to cover a lot of stuff because there's so much stuff that's going on. We've got one of our callers at phone back. We had him on earlier on. Tom, are you there?
Hello?
Hi.
Yes, that doesn't sound like Tom.
This is David.
Oh, David, how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Good.
I was just wondering. I want to talk about AL and NL MVP.
Okay.
I just want to know what you guys think. Who's going to be the AL and NL MVPs?
The American League Most Valuable Player.
Now,
that is a tough question to answer.
Who do you like?
I like Edgar Martinez.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that choice.
Nope.
Nothing wrong with that choice at all. He's when Ken Griffey was out for all those games, Edgar Martinez came through, and he's if he's not leading the American League in batting right now, he's pretty darn close, and that's not a bad choice. And another player with that ball club doing so well, and let's hope he gets healthy in a hurry, is Randy Johnson, the fine pitcher for them. And I really like Seattle's chances right now, Steve. They've got a young team. They've got a real good pitching staff right now. They've got the batting order they have. They got Vince Coleman leading off. They got Jay Buhner in there, just outstanding. the National League. Who do you like in the National League, caller, if you're still there?
I like Tony Gwynn.
Yeah, he'd be a real good choice too.
Two good choices.
And excellent.
We're gonna find out because we want to get going down the road. You like hockey?
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of skeptical here. I don't know. Okay, you leave your name and number in the with the people in the control room there, and we're gonna give you a couple tickets to the Langley Thunder that play out of the Langley Civic Center in Langley. Okay?
Okay.
Thanks for calling.
Thanks for calling.
Now, Langley in the BC Junior League, they beat Surrey the other night by a score of 6-4.
Well, that's only exhibition games.
It's still only exhibition. The league is
regular season should be starting in a couple of weeks, Steve.
Yeah, less than that. Believe me, it's starting very, very quick. Now, we talked about different other things. Indy had a chance. We didn't personally go there because we had other commitments. But Wally went down, covered some of the Molson Indy.
He did.
Enjoyed himself. Let's talk about Villeneuve.
Yeah, and I understand he's going to go Formula One next year, and I'm not a big auto racing fan, Steve. I know you are. But what's the difference between what we saw at Indy and this Formula One racing? Mostly
money?
In Europe? Money?
I guess you would say money.
Okay, well, that's one incentive,
the one thing,
isn't it?
I guess one big incentive. But I'm pleased because another Canadian getting an awful lot of recognition. I'm really pleased with that fact. Moore from Maple Ridge. He didn't do too well in Vancouver, but hey, he's there and we're not, so he's got to be doing a little better than we are.
For sure.
But you know, good choices, and they're having a lot of fun doing it. And of course, Al Unser Jr. Third time.
Yes.
What do you do? I mean, he might just as well come in and all the other racers concede the victory to him right away.
What do you hear about the future of Indy? Is it going to be in Vancouver to stay? I understand they're having problem with some leasing problems.
They are. They're having leasing problems, but anybody that I've spoken to over the last couple of weeks feel very confident that they will get the problem sorted out. And I have to be critical. I'm sorry.
Okay.
What's with these people on the bicycles blocking bridges and saying, I'm sorry, but they're taking up our bicycle path? I mean, do they not realize? I understand the traffic is a problem.
Well, get environmentally conscious, Steve. I mean, I have to ride my mountain bike to work now, for
Pete's
Pete's
but you
sakes.
kickstart the stupid thing. I mean, I worry about it, but my concern is think of the revenue it brings to the city, the millions of dollars, the people that it employs. I mean,
it does.
I'm not arguing that.
Yeah, one weekend a year.
I mean, surely to heavens we can give something like that up. I mean, that's got to be a gimme. I mean, and I fully agree with them. I mean, I think that we should get more people out riding bikes because we all need the exercise.
Well, especially you.
Yeah, you
What
too.
do you mean, me too? I don't think so. I got a six-pack.
We've got our next caller on the line. Jesse, you're there.
How you guys doing?
Fine.
You guys see the game between the Miami Dolphins and the Patriots today?
No, I missed it. What was the score, caller? Did you catch it?
Yeah, it was 23 for the Dolphins.
And what was it for New England, sorry?
3.
Holy smokes, that's a surprising score.
It's a shellacking.
The Will Moore play, he used to play with the Stampeders.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, former Calgary Stampeder. And I watched the New England Patriots play last weekend, and Will Moore had a real good game for them last weekend. But that 23-3 score, Miami, I mean, Miami's a great football team, but I thought New England with that high-powered offense would actually beat them. But that's interesting.
Yeah, Drew Bledsoe was saying nobody ever found him ever in the CFL. He should be here a long time ago.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, that's good for the CFL. It gives us more recognition down there.
That's right, it does. We want to thank him for calling. Yep. Right now, we're talking about Molson Indy. We have a little piece right now, a couple-minute piece that the girls put together for us. So let's turn our attention and watch a little bit of highlights from the Molson Indy.
fans out there for letting us come out here and have a great time and enjoy. I hope you enjoyed the race.
Exceptional. We talked earlier on as we're watching all this stuff. Unser, we said earlier on, it's just basically a gimme.
Yep.
We talked about Greg Moore. George was helping us out here while we were watching that feature.
Ivan's on the line.
Ivan, are you there?
Yeah.
Hi.
What team do you think will win the Western Conference Championship?
Ooh, my heart says the BC Lions, but and it's not the Western Conference anymore. It's the North and the South. So your question is, who's going to win the North Division?
Yeah.
They're such a fine football team, and even with Doug Flutie not being in the lineup, Ivan, that Jeff Garcia, that kid has just come in, and like I said, they haven't missed a beat. And Calgary's my choice, and don't count the Lions out yet, though. But I think you're going to see a Calgary-Baltimore Grey Cup final in Regina in October.
Cold.
Very cold.
Cold. Is that not November? I believe it's November.
Okay, you're right. It's November. You're right.
Yeah, I was thinking, gee, I got to change my plane ticket to go to Regina.
I'm wrong.
Mind you, I don't want to go to Regina when they have that funny little snow there. But anyway, nice. We talked earlier on about different things. We want to remind everyone that coming up next weekend, the Terry Fox Run is coming up. It's going to be held on the 17th. So when our winners, after they finish from the Lions game on Saturday, go on out and partake in the Terry Fox Run on the Sunday morning. I believe that you can obtain what would you call them? Application forms?
Registration
forms from whether it's the South Surrey Ice Rink or the North Surrey Rec Center or in Delta the Sun God Arena or wherever they might be.
And I'm sure in your upcoming Surrey Leader, Surrey North Delta Now this week, they're going to have all kinds of details.
Yeah, they will. And if you want, you can give them a call. Give the newspaper a call, whether it's the Now or the Leader, whichever one you might.
The Terry Fox Foundation does an excellent job getting their information.
Well, initially, their goal was to raise $1, as we spoke before we went on show, $1 for every Canadian. They started out winning.
Certainly surpassed that.
It's tough to believe that it all took place in 1980. It just seems like
so
yesterday.
Long ago, doesn't it?
It does. But nice because an exceptional gentleman that did an awful lot to put Canada on the map.
And there's a march right on now to get his likeness on the back of the new $2 loonie. And right now, I can't think of any other person with all the trouble that we're having with that other province back east and everything else. There's not a finer Canadian that you'd want to see.
And I guess one question we should ask, just to see if the viewing public at home are aware of it, what did Terry Fox call his run? He had a name. Just give us a call. We don't have any tickets or anything. We just want to see if you're aware.
You get a date with Steve if you get the answer, okay?
You never know. But anyway, we'll negotiate that. But anyway, we talked earlier on. Had a chance to go up and cover the BC Amateur General Meeting up in Kelowna for the weekend. Few changes. They have elected Florence Rempel, second term for Florence Rempel, who's from Victoria, as the president for the BC
And
Amateur.
I understand that you will be resigning from the show in a couple of weeks because you're now the referee-in-chief, and I'll be darned if I'm going to have a referee-in-chief sitting in this chair beside me. So, Steve, it was very nice knowing you.
And that's all. But no, it's a good time. Went up there, we covered it. The one big change that really up in Kelowna today, it shocked an awful lot of people. It went to a vote, and it was really like nip and tuck, I guess you could say. Ron Boileau, who is the president for the BC Junior League in the Lower Mainland, got defeated as the Junior A director. Ron Boileau is now, and I mean, he does a heck of a job
maybe rightfully so. Isn't that a conflict of interest?
They felt yeah, that's true. They felt it was a conflict of interest.
So you think it's a conflict to sit on two boards like that and to...
it's tough because you've got, I mean, I get along with Ron, but it could at one point in time in your
even
career,
the perception being there.
Yes, it is. But there's a lot of people, I tell you, there are ever an awful lot of people in the interior just livid with the fact that Trail has a team in the BC Junior League. They're saying, why should this team not be in the Rocky Mountain League up in the interior? They are furious.
We could do a whole show on that.
We could, but we don't want to. Gay Hahn, Terry Owen are still the directors for the Lower Mainland for the BC Amateur Hockey, have done an exceptional job. Two people I promised that I would give mention to about upcoming things in the Lower Mainland. I tell you, and if you ever want to get involved, I said earlier on, we covered the championships, the Canada Cup championships, next spring, and the dates from March 31st to April the 6th, either in South Surrey or Sun God. I'm not sure of the location right now. they will hold what they call the Pacific Rim Championships. This is the championship for female ice hockey. They will have teams from Japan, the United States, and don't forget the women's ice hockey will be going to the Olympics in 1998. And if anyone is interested and you want information, please contact a lady by the name of Becky Bookham. And Becky's home number is 574-9843. And I promise Becky
and she'll be really happy with you giving out her home phone number.
I get along with Becky, but that's not a problem. But anyway, that's coming up also next summer in August in Vancouver area.
Geez, we're really getting ahead of ourselves here, aren't we? Are there any phone calls?
Now, yeah, the Pacific Cup is for players under 18, for the under 18 championship. So that's a big plus because we've got that going on. So an awful lot of news coming up for the hockey. Jason, you're on the line. Go ahead.
The Run of Hope?
Yes, that's absolutely true. The Marathon of Hope. That's right. Good. And nice to see.
I don't know if we have any pizzas left in the control room, but if we do, we'll send you one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no pizzas left, sorry, but you phone us on our next show, which is in 2 weeks, and you ask us a question, and we'll send you a pizza. Okay, Jason?
Okay.
Thanks a lot for calling.
You like hockey?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll give you a couple of tickets for one of the BC Junior League teams, either the Surrey Eagles or the Langley Thunder.
Okay.
How's that?
Okay?
Yeah.
Thanks for calling,
very much.
Jason.
Thanks for calling. Yeah, good, you know, that the young people remember this. And there's an awful lot of young people get involved in the Terry Fox Run.
Yeah, I bet there is. And,
are you going out?
I don't know. I bought myself a pair of running shoes on the weekend, and maybe I'll put them to a test.
Put them
See, well, I don't want to make you look bad, though, Steve.
That wouldn't be tough to do. I mean, you could do that. I've got the fortunate luck, I guess you could say, that I have to be the master of ceremonies for the Terry Fox Run, so I'm pleased with that. But good endeavor, and they do an exceptional job. Coming up, our next program, September 30th, and then we will basically have 3 programs in a row. September 30th. Well, pardon me, September 30th is Saturday, October the 1st.
Our next show will be on Sunday, September 24th, 24th, sir.
4th, and 24th. Then we go October the 1st.
That's right, and then October the 8th. So that's 3 weekends in a row you're stuck looking at this guy's mug right here. It's a good thing I'm on the show.
It won't be the first time, but we want to thank everyone at the BC Lions for giving us the tickets. We want to thank Roger Kelly with the BC Lions for giving us those tickets for next weekend's games.
Boston Pizza,
Boston Pizza, because I tell you, without their help, we really need the input. We need the help from everybody. Yeah. We want to thank everyone, the callers that were left on the line, because we always leave callers on the line.
You were doing all that talking. We had called, boy, you're fired.
Well, I always try and talk nice and short, but that's tough to do with me. Anyway, we want to thank everyone. Ian, it's been a good show. What do you think we're going to cover next one?
I have no idea.
Like to cover?
Well, we can talk about the Canucks in 2 weeks. Right now, we are going to say goodnight because we're out of time.
We will, and if there's anything you want advertised, let us know at the station here, and we'll get it on for you. On behalf of Ian Metcalf, I'm Steve Erickson. Thanks for watching. If you don't play sport, at least be one.
For this program was supplied by Giant Foods, located at 160th Street and 108th Avenue in Surrey.